Greetings, Dumelang, Sanbonani, Apsheni. This is episode number 4 of the Switch On Network. Thank you so much. We appreciate the love. Please continue to comment on our YouTube space. Also, follow us on X and on Instagram. The name is Lerato Pago. Namuhla, Nfamba na Bud Nadim Nukele and Bud Morgan Gold. Welcome, gents.
Obrigado.
Because we are such an inclusive podcast that we've got loyal viewers across the continent, especially in the SADC region. And we felt that, we honestly need to now show them some love, especially because we've got people from Eswatini, Sanbonani, people from, I think, Mozambique as well. Yeah. People are enjoying it.
Yes, people from Lesotho, Namibia, Zambia, across Southern Africa, even up to Tanzania, where there's Swahili-speaking people being represented by Simba in the final.
And we should actually say Abariako. Yeah.
Actually, in Swahili, I think you say Hujambo, meaning how are you? Something like that.
Okay, so we now have the greetings out of the way. The derbies, 2 derbies, they came. And now we focus on what really happened in Durban. I think, it's only fair, Nadim, that I start the show with this because I think people have been asking me and saying on the social, I see the comments, by the way, and thank you so much. So I thought, let me get this because this is special. I'm going to play this and I'm expecting a reaction out of you. To focus on the midfield because I feel like the midfield battle is where everybody's going to be looking at. Does Yusuf Mat start? He's the captain, so do you think he's going to be able to keep things tight in the middle of the park?
It's embarrassing that guy is the Kaizer Chiefs captain, Yusuf Mat.
We will leave it there. Drops Mike. A response from you, Nadine.
He did well. I mean, scored the...
Stelo apologize.
You know what? He did well. He scored the winning goal. But we can't just say he was the man of the match, was outstanding. No, we can't say that. He was not. He scored the winning goal, of which even Mahopa scored the Paris goal and also Serena scored that goal. It doesn't mean that immediately score a goal. All the problems that were there, there's a reason why Chiefs actually might not even be in the top 8. So
okay, no, Nadim, we're going off topic. What we are focusing on is that Yusuf Mart led Kaizer Chiefs to glory in the Nedbank Cup. That's what you need to acknowledge. That now he's got a very beautiful medal around his neck. And it is for the Nedbank Cup.
The good thing I like about Yusuf Might is that he did the talking on the pitch. He allowed us to do the topic on YouTube, which is good. We had our own opinion about him that he's not the kind of a guy to
No, you had your own opinion.
I have been having it even on Metro FM. I've been critical of him. I've been against him being a Kaizer Chiefs captain. Even now, I still don't believe he's the kind of a guy. I think he's the kind of a guy. I don't like to see a captain being substituted. I've seen him more than 5 times being substituted. As a captain, you're supposed to lead your team throughout. Even in the final, maybe didn't even finish it. So for me, he did well by winning the trophy, of which doing the talking on the pitch, which is good, but there will be a lot of improvements. Yes, I did say I'm still critical of him, but congratulations to Kaizer Chiefs winning the trophy. It's the most important thing. That's what they needed, and he did well, of which do the talking on the pitch, of which he did it successful by scoring the winner, of which it brought the glory days 10 years without a trophy. That trophy, it needs to be congratulated. Well done, Amakosa.
10 years without the trophy. They win the trophy on the 10th of May 2025. Nadim says the problems are still there, but is it okay to maybe let them enjoy what is left of the season while still celebrating, Morgan?
Asjabule.
Amakos,
please. Nadim, I like what you were going at him, and I said to you, he's a captain, and he's a captain with his actions. He really wants to be a captain, how he wants to lead the team. He might not lead it like we used to lead it, like with vocal and being all over the place. And he can also lead from the bench. And leading from the bench needs a strong leader. And why I say he's done phenomenal. I'm very close to him in a regard that I know he lost one of his best friends. And that's when his form started to dip. Psychologically, he was not there. And you can see how emotional he was after scoring this goal. He really send a tribute to his friend that he lost, and he was very close to him, and that's why I can say that this boy is a leader. He's been through a lot. 10-year drought. He was not part of the 10-year, but he is part of the team that made the difference in the 10-year for Chiefs to obviously should we say it's a curse or whatever? But in the drought for Kaizer Chiefs, and for me, phenomenal person, phenomenal player. Might not be his best season, but he's done well.
All right. So, Nadim, you were right about the changes that Coach Jose Rivero would make ahead of the Nedbank Cup. The players that were rested, that were sitting up in the stands during the midweek game, they played on Saturday. When you looked at the starting 11, were you convinced that this is a team that should do the job convincingly?
I wasn't convinced because I saw Patrick Masonga. Patrick Masonga has been the most problematic Orlando Pirates player. Last season was the PSL Players Player of the Year. This season is underperformed. Hence, if you look at all the key games, even against Chiefs last week, FNP Stadium when they won 2-1, he didn't play. Against Sundowns, who was in the stands. Immediately you see him, you see problems. In the key games with Pirates, has not been productive. His season, I hear a lot of bad things about him off the pitch, of which it's affecting on the pitch, because it's not the same player who had 8 assists, who won many of the matches last season, game after game, was very instrumental in Pirates creating and scoring goals. So immediately you see me wonder, why is he there? Then I feel like the coach made a mistake with putting Masonga. But obviously, Mahopa, I've been saying it even more. The story has been beautiful with him. That is the kind of a guy, one of the guys who has really benefited under Jose Verelo. His game has improved. In Bafana collapse have been there. With Pirates, I also feel like the team was okay enough, but it was spoiled during the game. When I was starting, the way they played, I felt like the substitutions were not in order. That's where the problem was.
Do you share the same sentiment, Morgan? Because I think we sat here on the first episode and we analyzed the fact that Orlando Pirates have got a very strong starting 11, but the problem then becomes the squad depth. Yeah. What then happens on the bench? Do you have players that can increase the intensity of any game at any moment? And I think maybe in this game, it was clear that when you needed to get over the finish line, they just couldn't.
Yeah, surely. A couple of months ago, they were playing for 3 titles. Right now, they only have 1 in the bag. So I think the depth part was a bit of a problem, and we could see it towards the end of the season. They played 45, 47 games and didn't really rotate. If you look at a team like Sundowns, they rotate, and majority of their players get 25 games in the 50 odd games that they play. So it goes to show that depth is important. How they really messed it up for themselves is they played a different lineup. And then you expect the team that won the game 7 of those players need to come out. And with a coach of his magnitude, he needed to know that. Let me just continue with this team, add 2 or 3 influential players that can also affect the game, and I'll have my powerhouses on the bench. But obviously, that wasn't the case. He foresaw himself taking the game to Chiefs, where it was something that they needed to know that Chiefs is going to be on the up and up. The occasion is going to be big. They obviously want to get a trophy, and it's at the expense of Pirates. And they needed to go into this game having a defensive mind, saying that, yes, we've beaten them a week ago, but these people are hurting. It's a what I call a wounded tiger. And a wounded tiger is not going to just let you finish him off. Chiefs came out as a wounded tiger, and that's the result. Pirates really messed it up by chopping and changing too much and bringing a player that was from the stands. As much as you're a quality player, you must be in and around the team for the cohesion and for the camaraderie. You need to be in the bench, from the bench into the field. You can't go from the stands and immediately into the field. What is the player on the bench doing then? What are you saying to him? What message are you saying? You're not giving him any comfort to say you're close to getting an opportunity, but you protecting the stars. They come from grandstand into the field. And that's where I think it all went wrong.
Okay. Well, continuing on that same train of thought with Orlando Pirates and where it went wrong for them, we talk about the bench as well. Do you think with Orlando Pirates and the substitutions that they made, that's where they lost the game? Taking off Evidence Makgopa, taking off Makehleni Makaula, and making those changes where for Kaizer Chiefs, the substitutions had an opposite effect, bringing the likes of Ashley Dupree, bringing in Mduduzi Shabalala, bringing Ox Mthethwa to solidify that midfield.
Exactly. The bench for Pirates, that's where they lost the game. It looked like the coach already, his mind was away in Egypt. He wanted to leave. He didn't want to win Pirates the trophy. I honestly don't believe the coach wanted Pirates to win the trophy. Simply because Mahopa, if you look at the first half, immediately Chiefs scored that penalty. Mahopa equalized. Even in the second half, the game was still even. But Pirates obviously were creating a better chances. Even in the first half, one would say Pirates had better ball position than Kaizer Chiefs. In the 60th minute, Mahopa arrested him against Arrows. so that he's ready and full fit for the final. 68th minute, you feel he's tired. You remove him from Mabasa, the guy that has been underperforming this season in terms of big matches. He's not been playing for a reason. Even if you look at Nkota's goal, I don't even remember any goal that was scored by Nkota or Mfokeng where Mahopa has not been on the pitch. Most of the games, like 80% of their goals, Mahopa has been on the pitch. Is the one who's been instrumental in terms of assist. You remove Mahopa, that was scandalous. That just shows the guy didn't want Pirates to win the trophy. What informs Mahopa was not injured. Makaula, we can say maybe could have been injured. For me, I feel how the coach acted, it was not for the interest of Pirates. It assisted the opposing team because immediately you are giving Chiefs confidence. When you say Mahopa out, they know that it's easy to deal with Mabasa than Mahopa. That's the reason why that's the reason why Hugo Breeze doesn't even want to see Mabasa near the national team. Even last season was the top goal scorer in the league, but was not even called once because he doesn't trouble the opposing defenders. So the coach made a mistake, even with Kabelo Dlamini. Kabelo Dlamini is not the kind of a guy who's been coming in and changing matches. I remember when he started in that position as a 6 because they replaced Makaula. Sundowns scored 4 against Pirates. So for me, it's just so many mistakes. And one of Jose Rivero, he has proven time and time this season, even last season, that is one of the smartest coaches in the league. He knows how to read the game and change it. But he did the opposite in that game.
Are you saying because there's one rainy day in summer, it becomes a bad summer? In this instance, because the coach got it wrong once. Now you're saying it's a wrong.
Oh, okay. No, okay. I hear what you're saying. He's not been getting it the wrong ones. Even against Pyramids, Pilots are leading 2-1. You put Sumasangwanye and Kabelo Dlamini. The only thing you needed there is just to defend. Away goal will suit you. The coach has been making mistakes against Sukukune. Same thing. It's not something that started now. It's a pattern that has been happening ever since. It's just that people, when I speak, people don't listen. I did say it was a mistake by Orlando Pirates to announce that the coach is leaving. And
I think they did it because of the European standards. European standards, the coaches, they know a year in advance that he's leaving, he's going on to the next. But we need to be professional. Professionals need to do their job and knowing that the coach is still the coach until the day he decides to leave or they release him from his duties.
No, even in Europe, you're wrong. Even in European standard, when a coach is leaving, it's usually leaving because he's being fired or it's because he has underperformed. It's usually there's nothing that he's fighting for. It's rare where you see a coach who's in the middle of winning 3 major tournaments that is leaving. Even Klopp, when it was announced, he has already just lost Europa, was out of the mathematical output that Liverpool can win the league. That's why it was announced that he's leaving. He felt there was nothing that was fight for. Pirates announced the coach that he was leaving while they can still win the Champions League, win the league, and win the Nedbank Cup. And they lost everything. From there, his decision-making, how he acted on the bench, it changed. How he made his substitutions, his decision-making, it changed.
I don't think so, Nadim. I think we are just we're making excuses to say that the coach announced this, that he's leaving. Now the results are not coming. He's not forward-thinking. You must remember, he's going on to the next page. He's going on to the next team. You need to show your best for the next team that's going to take him on. What
I'm saying is that immediately it was announced that he's leaving. His decision-making, Pirates have been throwing away. Even against Pyramids, where they at FNP Stadium, Pirates were playing as if they are away, of which they needed to go all out at home. Because you do the job at home before you go away. Pirates fans were impatient with Chain. Chain was saying Pirates were playing as if they were wanted a 0-0 at home, away to win, of which is always difficult if you don't do the job. I feel immediately it was announced, Pirates' decision-making in terms of the coach, how he was chasing, it was not the same.
Then I need both your sentiments on this. So this is after the game and the coach is asked to give his thoughts after the result. And he says that he knows the reason with regards to what happened and how they lost the game, but he's not going to reveal it. Does it mean that he knew in time and maybe he could have been able to change it?
Please answer, Baba.
No, look, he needs to be as professional as possible. And give us an answer that will suit our ears. But deep down, there must have been something that swayed the whole movement, because you can't tell me from the day he announced that he's going to leave, now training's different. They've worked so hard. The players want it. He wants it. It's just unfortunately Chiefs came up with a plan that was better. The teams came up with a better plan and they used that into their armor that so they might not have the same motivation And some of them are actually happy that he's leaving because they weren't playing. So they use that into their armor to say,
I think you're not answering the question.
I'm not
but it's an interesting aspect that he's bringing in to say that the news, they affect different individuals differently.
Thank you.
There's players that will want to play for the coach. There's players that maybe are celebrating because they never got the opportunity under his reign.
No. That's not the question to ask. You ask the coach what was the space? What was the problem that he could solve? He said he told you on SuperSport TV that he knows it, he doesn't want to tell you. That's a coach of a team that just lost in a cup. He knows the problem. One, he didn't fix it. He doesn't also want to address it.
Was it fixable, Nadim?
It was. He says he know what was wrong. So it means he could have easily fixed it, but he didn't want to fix it and he didn't want to talk about it. That just said, for me to show that the guy he knew and is telling the truth. Pirates in the 85 minute. Chiefs have scored, right? Matt, 80 minute, 2-1. The only thing you need there is one goal. What did he do? He took off a right back, Van Rion, and put what? Shandu, another right back.
A right back that's more attacking.
No, it doesn't. No. Goals. You need at that time. You need goals. How many goals? The history of
Shandu. Shandu was an attacker before he came to Pirates.
How many goals has he scored for Pirates this season?
But we can't say because now he hasn't scored, he's not a good attacker.
No. That was a wrong substitution. You are wrong. Even it doesn't matter. If you say it was a right decision in the last 5 minutes to put a defender while you're trading 2-1. All over the world, we do watch football. When you're going all out, you put an attacking to do that. So it never happened that you can now take off a right back while you needed a goal in the last 5 minutes. You're putting another right back. That was a very strange decision. The guy, I can't blame him because he has done so much for Pirates. His mind was already in Egypt because we hear that he's going to be the highest paid coach in Africa. So his mind was not at Pirates. His mind was there, he could have easily fixed it. He made a lot of wrong decisions, the coach, but it doesn't take away the fact that he did so much for Pirates, winning 5 trophies in 3 seasons, of which for me, I think it's an impressive, but he made a lot of mistakes there that assisted Kaizer Chiefs. We can go back to the red cards that could have been, it doesn't matter, but even the coach on himself, tactically, he made the wrong decisions and Chiefs capitalized on that.
Is it going from bad to worse where you have the situation with Coach Jose Rivero, now the team announcing that he has been granted an early exit from the team? What do you make of that? I mean, the league is ending. Surely he could have stayed for the next few couple of games for Orlando Pirates, but we understand that, of course, another job elsewhere is calling. How do you foresee the situation panning out?
Look, firstly, you need to look at how he approached it. He knew that he's going to another team. On the back of that, he misses his family. And his
family is not in Egypt.
Hopefully his team knows, but it's closer from the country that you're saying, maybe Egypt. I don't know if he's going to Egypt.
Yeah, it's going to Egypt.
From Egypt to Spain, the distance is not much.
Yeah, because
it's one flight of, it's not more than 3 hours.
Because I hear even the coach, the owner, the one who's arrested for drugs, the owner of White Hat, wanted him at White Hat, but since the drug case is not finished, he's not the one who can bring him. But both of those countries, they wanted him.
Yeah, okay, but I'm saying the distance for him from South Africa to Spain, it's hours, and you should know that you're gonna travel 2 flights to get to Spain. Now it's easy for him to get to Egypt or Morocco to Spain. So for me, 1, it was infused by family decision. 2, the next move, because he's won everything that he can win with Pirates. He's not going to win the Champions League, and now I wouldn't say it. For him to leave on this note, it makes it easier for the next
Can
coach.
I come in and interject, Morgan? Because I hear you talking about family. I think we can remove the family argument because in the press release, it says that he was granted that release on his contract because having signed with a new club. They don't speak about family matters. They don't speak about him longing to be with his family. It's about the contractual obligation that he now has with the new team.
Yeah, that just shows that the guy's mind was not there. He signed a contract in the middle of the season.
Yeah, so you are.
And people are saying it's even February. February, that's where Pirates played Al Ahly. When Pirates beat Al Ahly, it means after the game that he signed a contract with Al Ahly. When he went to Egypt, it was not there in the interest of Pirates, today in the interest of himself. Because look, Pirates beat Al Ahly to top the group and reach the knockout stages of the CAF Champions League. There he was concluding his own personal deal. For me, it looks like the guy no longer wanted to pay Pirates. I honestly believe that immediately he signed the deal, Pirates should have released him. Because look, his decision making after it was announced, Pirates, that's where now I did say it in the previous podcast that it sounds like a joke where you can say this is the same Pirates that match Sundowns, beat the strongest Sundowns 2-1 at FNB Stadium. Kaizer Chiefs, I mean, is a team that is so down low. I think there's 22 points or more than when you look at Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs defense. But Chiefs, at the end of the day, you look like a better team won that day. Yeah, you can't say Chiefs.
We're playing in the same league. You must remember we're playing in the same league. And that's just that we can put aside. We are playing in the same league, whether you are first. If you don't win it, then you are just part of it.
Okay, my point, can I hear you? We're playing the same league, but is that after it was announced, his decision making has been really not in the benefit of Pirates. Even if you look in the Champions League, I mean, it's a guy who went to MC Alger, strong crowd, Pirates won 1 defensive effort. Against Pyramids, instead of putting defensive players and closing a shop, he was still attacking for what?
You need to credit the players.
No, it's because he didn't want to disappoint the Egyptian team and knock out an Egyptian team. He wanted Pirates to be knocked out of the Champions League. That's why he make sure Pirates attack so that they will be eliminated. When they receive him in Egypt, when he joins next month or this month, he comes a hero that he didn't knock out the Egyptian team. His interest, ever since he signed for Al Ahly, has been with Al Ahly, not Orlando Pirates.
Okay, so now we're going to close the chapter on
I'm not saying it was Judas Iscariot, but he was halfway there. Judas. Yeah, Judas Iscariot. He almost sold the Pirates. Yeah.
No, you started last week with the Bible verses.
Mara, last week, what did I say? The Spanish guitar, so you
said the strings are coming off the guitar.
You did say, and you were correct.
Yeah, I knew. You could see that the mentality was wrong. I don't know if it was the players or, as you saying, the coach, but we should also take the technical team to a certain extent. He's not alone. He doesn't take decisions on his own. So was there feud in the camp? We don't know. He could be alluding to those things. There was a bit of feud in the technical team. What needed to happen, how, when. And unfortunately, a 10-year drought to the neighbors was actually most needed. And what a way to get it for Kaizer Chiefs. So
for me, actually, the interesting thing after watching the game, I thought I won't be shocked if this guy goes to Kaizer Chiefs or repair if it's announced, because I mean there are stories that the Chiefs coach might need if he can go. That's what I saw, because I mean he was not disappointed losing to Kaizer Chiefs.
But is he ever disappointed?
He does. Sometimes it does get frustrated. Remember the game against Cape Town City, even get a yellow card. He fought with Alcon at Orlando Stadium because Pirates was still he was still fighting. It's before the contract thing. Also, this thing of Pirates announcing that the coach is leaving. Imagine in the middle of a war, you announce that the army commander is leaving. You are telling the soldiers. Do you think they'll fight for him?
They should. It's their job. They need to continue.
Yeah.
You need to.
No, but you are leaving. So even if we don't fight for you, we're not going to punish us if you are leaving.
Why must they punish you? Do the job.
No, but the thing
professionalism requires for you to do the job.
So there's always
whether you are leaving or not.
When a season ends, there's always like, okay, I need to impress the coach for next season. This one didn't have to impress him for next season.
I'll make an example.
Yeah,
Stuart Baxter was leaving for the national team. He was leaving. I'm not sure if it's SuperSport or Chiefs, but I was part of the team. Mm-hmm. We still continued doing the job because we knew that with or without him, the players have the drive, have the ambition. So the Pirates players had the ambition. No, but it's wrong. The
Kaizer Chiefs, maybe your senior players, you people knew at Chiefs that he was leaving, but Chiefs didn't announce it in the middle of the season. When Chiefs, after winning the league, that's where the chairman of Kaizer Chiefs, Dr. Mdong, announced that the coach is leaving. Pirates announced it in the middle when they were fighting for everything.
Where he could sign a pre-contract with any team of his choice, because if Pirates didn't come to the party and say to him...
No, they did. He refused. They did come. For a fact, they come to me, refuse the contract to Pirates.
Yes, because he sees himself somewhere else.
Exactly, because his mind was no longer there. So don't blame him for making sure Pirates don't win the trophy, taking off Mahopa, putting attacking players when Pirates wanted to defend against Pyramids. For me, what he did against Pyramids, that was scandalous. That was wrong.
Can we applaud him for doing so well in his stint here in the country? Can we applaud him for that?
There's
only one trophy lost.
But for me, he's the best Pirates coach since 1975.
It's fine.
He has done wonders.
More than coaches that have won trebles.
Yes. No, who won treble? Which coach at Pirates won treble?
I'm not coach win a treble.
I said who name?
Kroll.
And then he left, and then
so that means it's a trend.
Yes, for me winning 5
Pirates, and
for me winning 5 trophies and finish up to this runner to this buying Sundowns team that buys every player that moves, is more successful. He's more successful, Rivero. He's the best Pirates coach since that Pirates team.
Let's not touch
Oscar Mashabalala in 1975.
Okay.
This one is the best Pirates coach. I'm a big fan of.
Okay.
No, not Sheikh Mashaba. Remember that team of 1975 of Pirates won a treble. So for me, I think he's been the greatest Pirates coach. He have done so much for Pirates. Even reaching this team, it was knocked out by.
Are you aware Chiefs also have won a treble? Are you aware?
20 years after the World War.
Are you aware?
When?
The Chiefs won a treble. I'll go to the archives. I'll bring the information.
Maybe they could have won it. I'm not saying no. Kaizer Chiefs has been the most successful teams in the last years, but obviously in the last 15 years they've been struggling.
No. Let's talk about yesterday. Just yesterday, what happened?
Yeah, no problem. So we have to move because also when you think of Coach Jose Rivero, if he is to take on the Al Ahly assignment, he would be going to the Club World Cup with the team. Are you a bit jealous there, Nadim?
Actually, no. It's actually that's what Bobby Mtaonga that he is actually used Pirates. He came to South Africa to build his name. Remember that video where Bobby Bega Kulman Bangan back. So Atifanele Guti Pirates need to strengthen their power. So okay, whatever happens is that he used Pirates. He wanted to come to South Africa and build his name. Just Bobby Mtaonga referred to Stuart Beck. So he did the same to Chiefs. He came to South Africa and polished up his names, won the double, the Nedbank Cup and the league, also the league twice with Kaizer Chiefs. From there, he left.
Morgan, help me with this. How does one person use a team? I mean, am I not winning trophies for you? Am I not helping rebuild?
Okay, but I'm just saying, he came here to build his name. Now his name is
but he also
He's
built
got a
Orlando
mandate.
Pirates to a team that
Within
can
that,
exactly.
he's
to
got a
team
mandate.
that can lose in the semi-finals of the CAF Champions League.
Okay,
the team,
Lerat, I'm saying he built his name. Once his name was okay, he didn't care about Pirates.
He
anymore.
helped Orlando Pirates as well. He had trophies. You were talking about being the most successful Orlando Pirates
but
coach.
I'm just saying, once his name was okay, once his CV was
But
sorted,
he also helped the team. He promoted players like Relebogile Mofoke, Mohau Nkota, Mbegezeli Mbokazi. A lot of players. He was able to turn the likes of Evidence Makopa into the diamond that we are seeing. The evolution happened.
I give him
under
credit for all the things he did. He deserves all the credit for the decision he has made at Pirates.
However,
because Pirates were without two of their best defenders. Maybe the two best players in the league. If you look at Saleng and also Nda.
it's a team effort. I still don't say.
And he still, with what he had, he still improved the team. My problem is that once he signed that deal with Al Ahly, he didn't care about Pirates anymore. His decisions, how you are starting, even at the bench. Pirates are losing the final. You see him relaxed. Can you get the footage? Where he was sitting relaxed.
But he's a relaxed human being.
The Chiefs coach.
He was a relaxed human being.
No. But on all the finals, you can get the footage. In all the finals where Pirates won or whatever, you will see him there panicking. Even when he beat you as Kukune. Remember when you lost to when you were as Kukune assistant coach, you remember?
Yeah, that was...
He was not relaxed. He was not relaxed.
Because that was his first in trying to get a trophy for Orlando Pirates.
He has already won the trophy. He has already won the M10-8.
Okay. Yeah. Knowing very well that his mandate was... He probably super exceeded the mandate because the mandate probably says get it as a trophy in each and every season that you are here. He got how many?
5.
All right.
He super exceeded and he relaxed.
Okay.
Thank you, Moke.
Now let's come back to Coach
with
Nasruddin Nabi. In everybody's mind, they should be going on a victory parade. They should be parading the Nedbank Cup. They should be enjoying this. But now there's a bit of a sour taste to this Nedbank Cup with now the conversation and talks around Coach Nasruddin Nabi leaving. Morgan, the timing of it all, in a moment where it's been 10 years without any silverware, you finally get silverware and you've got this thing or this cloud that is following you around when you should be just celebrating the trophy. Now there's talks of the coach leaving.
It's history. We've won it. It's history. We need to look at the next phase because in football, you're as good as your last game. The last game we won, now you need to start planning the way forward. You've got CAF coming up. You need to fight for the top 8 and you want to be in all the trophies that are available to the team. So obviously, as management, as the board of directors, they need to look at the bigger picture. As much as he's brought in the trophy, what then after? Are we then saying he's the right person for the job, or are we going to add the players that the coach wants? So we must meet on another halfway. If he's the next guy for the job, let him continue. But if he's not, I also feel that we also need to be honest, because Chiefs is a big institution. We need Chiefs. We want Kaizer Chiefs to be in and amongst the talks on the continent, not just in South Africa. So we need to really look at it and dive deep into it, because I think the management did well. Yeah. They are doing well, and they're looking at the situation and saying, is it ideal for us?
Is he not forcing their hand to a certain degree? Because now he's come out to talk about this in terms of saying, if I don't have the right tools for next season, I don't think I will stay. Because now you can see that everybody is on this cloud. Everybody's just so happy. Everybody just wants to enjoy the moment. But now he's bringing in another topic that could be discussed. Maybe not now. It can be discussed at the end of the season. It can be discussed right before preseason. But for him to talk about it now, when people are still celebrating just Nezudin Nabi and his stint,
the earlier the better.
Okay.
He needs the tools because he's worked with the players that is found there. He's introduced a couple of players, which is yes. But for him to do what he wants to do, and he came in saying it's a project. He's not going to come from taking them from number 10 and winning the league. He was honest about that. So now he needs the tools that will sufficiently help him to get the project to become a project of winning ways, or where we just look at Chiefs and say, Chiefs are in this competition. We know they're going to win it. So give him time, if that's the case. But if Kaizer Chiefs management feels that it's not the case, so be it. We need to move.
Yeah, for me, I think there's been a confusing statement from Kaizer Chiefs. One, Kaizer Chiefs was speaking to Kole on 5FM. He didn't confirm that. He said they're still going to review the coach. And then later on, around 6, the coach was speaking to Robert Marawa, 94.7. The coach said he's happy at Chiefs. He wants to stay in whatever position. Later on, he's speaking to Thomas Mlambo, extra time.
On Supersport.
He's saying if they give him so it's been so many statements. One, the senior management, they are not sure. They're still going to review. The coach that just won a trophy. And remember, this is the team that has not won a trophy in the last 10 years. That was the first trophy after 10 years and 1 day.
The emphasis
was unnecessary.
on 1 day.
It was 1 day. Yeah. On Friday, it was 10 years and 1 day, fully 10 years and 1 day.
Yeah.
And then now he had that because they asked him. So when he was speaking to Red Marawa, from the time it drove from Sentin to Runback, it was in his head that now the team are telling him that, oh, okay, they're still going to review. That's why he's also fighting back. It's a way of fighting back. He's trying to show them, it's okay, we don't want to guarantee my position. I've already confirmed at 6 p.m. that I want to stay. Okay, if you give me the material. So he's trying to expose them. That's a tactical strategy. He's trying to expose them that even if you don't get rid of me, it means you have not supported me in terms of playing personnel. Of which that's what I've been saying. I've not been blaming Nabi. I've been saying he has not been supported in terms of like playing personnel. That we're going to improve the team. Even now, that problem is still there. So for me, it's not like a smooth transition. It's Kaizer Chiefs not wanting to be clear that our coach is staying. We're happy with him. He just won a trophy after 10 years. We'll support him with whatever it could. A team could say that. Or just be straightforward that no, he's leaving. I mean, you don't want to release. Why are they not saying that? What are they reviewing? Because they're doing the same thing. Remember when Pirates won the treble? Pirates management didn't come out to
but now you are acknowledging that they won a treble. You were here disputing it.
No, they did win a treble. I asked you who won.
Double treble.
But it was not the same guy, ne?
Continue. But because, listen,
it was not the same guy.
I don't want us to get sidetracked. You're talking about something that's very important because now we need to look at something that Morgan also spoke about. The playing personnel that he found at Kaizer Chiefs versus the playing personnel that he brought to Kaizer Chiefs. Whether you want to look at a player like Ignacio Miguel, you want to look at a player like maybe Lilepo, a Lollipop, you want to look at Morris as well in that. But the players that he found at Chiefs, what can he do with this predicament that he has? He's brought in some new names, but he still has a lot of players that he found there.
It does have a lot of players. The interesting thing about this Kaizer Chiefs coach, for me, I also doubt his coaching ability. I think he's not the kind. I think Chiefs, the reason why they want to get rid of him, they don't believe he's the kind of.
They want to get rid of him, Nadim.
Yes, they do. They don't believe that.
Is it not fair for a team to say at the end of every season, at the end of every episode, we want to review the episode and see where we went wrong and how we can better it? At the end of the season, but also don't forget that Coach Nezudin Nabi, to a certain degree, at some stage, I think it was after that game against TS Galaxy where they should have won in Polokwane, and he said, I can now give up on the dream to finish in the top 3 or finish in 3rd because now I can see that it's not going to happen. They need to review those things because chances are maybe those were agreements that were made in terms of finishing within a certain position, going as far in maybe in the Carling Cup, but now they've won the Nedbank Cup. Is it not a fair judgment from management to say, let's review at the end of the season?
But they're supposed to know now what they want to do with him. That's the thing. That's why Chiefs went for 10 years without a trophy. If you don't know if the coach wants him to go, when I gonna know, next Friday or next week, they're supposed to know now what do they want next season.
But you don't know if you want to finish in the top 8 or not in the top 8. That also adds a different dynamic.
Saying Kaizer Chiefs, any team now, they're supposed to know who are they gonna. The most important thing in any football club is the coach. Who's gonna be the coach? As a big brand, as they are the biggest team in Southern Africa, they're supposed to know if they want Nabi to continue or not. You know why? Because one, they look at the coaches. If they want him to stay, they're supposed to have already discussed with the coach which player do you want next season, who players do you want to release. This guy doesn't trust the players that are there at Kaizer Chiefs, Nabi. He has shown us many times, because if you look, all the games that he has coached, over 40 games, not even a single same lineup. He has changed the lineup in every match.
No, but
consequently.
I have to come in there because on certain occasions, it's been because of the injuries and suspensions. We look at the suspensions for Kaizer Chiefs, it's been bad. Injuries as well. Please come in, Morgan.
He has done a phenomenal job. Let's be honest. I think you're saying he's not a good a leader, but I think take into consideration the injuries, the suspensions, the players that is found there, and look at example Dove. Dove came in, hasn't played for a number of months, but he comes and gives you a performance like that. Quinica, final. Imagine, you haven't been playing all season long. Last 5 games, you get thrown in. Mentality, that shows you that mentality is strong and is right for the big occasion. He does the job.
Okay, how do you build a winning combination if you chop and changing? Because he has not played with the same starting lineup every game.
You are finding the combination. Because you must remember,
that's a sign that is not an elite coach. Elite coaches will at least give 2 or 3 games. You can't tell me that every game at Chiefs there was a suspension. That's not true. If you're saying that there was injury or suspension every game, they were in a position where they cannot retain the same starting lineup.
Look at football. I'll make an example. You have a back 4. The 2 center backs need to be in sync. The right back and the right center back need to be in sync. Left, the same thing. So far too often you'd either find there's a suspension or there's maybe he didn't have a good game. I am telling you that
they have not been.
Long-term injuries as well.
You can't tell me.
The likes of Castillo.
Kaizer Chiefs' first match was against Marumo Gallants.
Dudley is another one.
Yeah.
You're talking about Dudley is playing for
Kaizer Chiefs' first match was against Marumo Gallants. Remember, Bloemfontein Chiefs 1-1.
Yes.
Then the following match was against who?
But don't forget, in that
against
game,
who was suspended.
In that game, first game, in charge in a different league. You need to see what you have in your arsenal. You need to give a lot of players a chance. The likes of Mtutuzi, Shabalala, Mfundo Vilagazi. A lot of these young players, Samgia Lozwane is another one. He had to then give some opportunities to these youngsters. And
it's a sign of a bad coach. A coach that cannot. In 40 matches, you don't even have a same lineup once.
Nadim, you're talking about the first game. Your first game initially just gives you a message to say, okay, we've won this game. However, you can only judge players on the 5th game to the 6th game. That's when the understanding, the belief, the trust comes in. But if you're going to change it and you want to see what combinations that you can work with along the season, it's going to take you a long time. Yes, it took him a long time. And now he understands the combination. Now he can go into the market and say, I want Nadim to be my top striker because he's a defensive striker. As you like saying, there's defensive strikers. I want another player. He's a striker that will complement Nadim because Nadim will do the defensive striking work and you'll do the scoring.
I am saying the fact that in all the matches he played, more than 40 games, he has not played the same lineup even once.
Can we give him credit?
Of that team not being an elite coach. That's the reason Chiefs want to get rid of him.
Okay.
They want another coach.
Can we give him credit though? Because this is a plan that could have easily backfired in the final. Making a big change in the goalkeeping department. Bruce Vuma, not part of the match day squad. And this is a goalkeeper that had been very present, their road to the final. Brandon Peterson, who last played in 2024, December, has not played. He's then chosen as the goalkeeper for the final. It's a big decision, and for him, it paid off.
It's a great decision, big decision. It worked. If you look at the likes of Real Madrid, they do those things. What's the goalkeeper? The big boy?
Courtois.
He might be out for a number of seasons or number of games, and then they expect him to play a big role.
No, but he doesn't sit on the bench. Immediately he's fit to go straight to the lineup.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's the same thing, Nadim. If he's not part
No,
of the
this one
team-
was always on the bench. He was always fighting with coaches, acting like a coach.
No, he wasn't fighting. You see, that's where we get it wrong. If someone gives his opinion to the coach, it's not fighting.
Okay, was always giving
You
his
need-
opinion on the bench, not on the pitch, was not playing, was not
It's
starting.
fine. He sees something that is. He's also on the bench. He's
Yeah.
seeing what the coach is seeing.
Yeah.
However, he's giving his opinion of how it could have. Because you must remember, playing the game and being on the bench and being the leader of the team as the coach, you see, it's three different perspectives. He's giving his opinion. It might come across as he's being fighting or he's being robust, but all he's doing is he's giving his opinion, and now he's showing people that his weight was very, very much worth the final. And he's showing he's a goalkeeper for the big occasion. He came in with BMT. The defenders trusted him. As much as Bruce was going through a slump, he came in at the perfect to take it away from Pirates' cabinet. And you must remember, it also saves NetBank. If Pirates have won this trophy, they
Make
were
a
going to
new
retain
one.
it.
Yeah.
So NetBank is happy where they are.
So you don't,
At the same time,
maybe
Chiefs
NetBank
is-
spoke to Rivero that we don't want to do this.
That's on you. I didn't say anything of that thing.
Nadim, we need
Okay,
to talk
for me,
about
we-
too controversial. Okay.
For me with Peterson, I believe I've been saying it. It's not like I'm starting now. Even in the first podcast, I did say it. I believe he's the best goalkeeper at Kaizer Chiefs. I believe it was wrong.
Better than Chain.
He is in the top 3 in the PSL. For me, maybe it's almost same, just below a bit of Ronan Williams. He's a very good goalkeeper. I know he made so many mistakes last year when the season was starting. Then Kune
Costly mistakes.
and then there was so much. Of course, those mistakes we have seen even in the best goalkeepers. I've been saying it's wrong that he's being benched. I don't even see where Vuma is better than Peterson. Seeing in the final, for me, it sent even fear to Pirates because Chiefs at one point in time, they beat Pirates 5 times in a row.
I wanted to ask you.
That
I
guy
wanted-
was the starting
You
goalkeeper.
said you saw Kaizer Chiefs training. Did you see him in goals? So did you know that he would start ahead of Vuma?
Yeah, that's why you have to give credit to Nabi. And
Finally, Morgan,
No,
we need this moment.
We need to record this and play this over and over.
No. You have to
Well
give credit to Nabi for starting him in the final.
Okay.
It was a ball.
Elite coach, say it. Elite coach.
Yes, elite decision.
No, that
he
was a
made.
mastermind. It worked.
Yes.
Because the coaches, if you're in a final, you go all out. Of which that Chiefs did, and they deserve to win the trophy. Pirates didn't do it because the guy was busy sorting out some contract and a permit to go to Egypt. So in this case, playing Peterson for Pirates, Chiefs, it worked wonders because one is taller than Vuma, is good on the crosses. He has had experience. Most of the games where Chiefs will be beating Pirates, he's the kind of a guy who has been a goalkeeper. For me, it worked wonders. I was not happy to see Vuma playing because when you see Vuma playing, starting, you see weakness in the goalkeeping. Peterson is a better goalkeeper than Vuma. I don't understand why Chiefs felt so confident to drop him since the beginning of December. For me, it was
a message. They were sending a message. I would say they were sending a message to Brandon to say, yes, you're a good goalkeeper. However, we need you to preserve yourself for the big occasion. And this was a big occasion.
No,
He
it wasn't
came
like
out-
that. It wasn't like that. It was
No,
not like that.
but you
Actually,
can't
it's
say
not,
that.
it's not what happened.
What happened?
What
Nadim?
happened then, Nadim? Well, I would like to hear what happened.
It's not what happened. Him starting.
I'm waiting.
No, him starting. It has nothing to do that was saved. The guy who has been playing in key games, even against Sundowns, Vuma played against Sundowns when they won 2-1, played against Stellenbosch in that 3-1, plays against Chippa United 3-0, even free agents. Even in the league, he's been starting all the matches. It's one of those decisions where they felt, okay, we lost with this guy. Let's try this one. It was not
Nadim,
like
it can't be.
They were not saving for bigger occasions.
I used
It's
to
a
coach.
risk
You
they
cannot-
took. It's
you
a risk
cannot.
they took that it worked.
No, you cannot. You have to look at the performance, what happens at training. What you do at training
So you mean
is essentially...
So you mean from Saturday he improved so much on training that they felt okay.
You don't look at Saturday only, but I did say it before. This week or leading up to the final.
Okay.
Nothing can change.
Okay, quickly,
Any
can we
change?
get
Any change, right?
quickly?
goalkeeping.
Can we get your opinion on the incidents involving Kaizer Chiefs players, where social media went crazy about them? We had an incident with Wandile Duba. There was another incident with Ignacio Miguel on Mohaung Kota.
What's the name of this ref? Masikolele Bambisa. I see one of the worst refereeing. You can see in South African football.
And he's given a final.
Because if you are refereeing, I mean, you mustn't be one. You must be principled. You must apply the laws of the game. You mustn't be emotionally attached. Your role there is just to interpret the laws of the game as a ref. You are getting trained. For me, he made a mistake. He did well. Chiefs got a penalty. First 10 minutes. Van Rooyen tripped Modi. Deserved penalty. You can see this referee is bold. He can make a bigger decision. The same thing that happened against Sundowns last year. And then now Pirates, Duba, kick someone. You don't give him a red card. Straight red. What are you thinking about? Are you thinking now? Are you trying to tell us that you feel Chiefs are not going to be able to play with one man? Okay, sure. It's fine. Maybe you are trying to make sure that as a referee, you want the game to be balanced. Which you are not applying the laws. You are using your common sense now. And then again, a foul by Miguel off the ball. The ball is there. He went straight. He was not even challenging the ball, because even the top so applies when you're challenging the ball. He was not challenging the ball. He just went straight to goal high. It was over the shoulders. That's a straight red. It's a violent conduct. It gives me a yellow card. The referee there was a bad referee. It's one of those referees that he should not referee final anytime soon. He needs to improve, because these kind of things are not good. I'm not saying Chiefs won because of a referee. I don't know if Chiefs were playing with 8 men, they were going to lose to Pirates. Mm-hmm. I just think those two decisions were bad, because the referee, it was a straight red. Even the same one with Miguel, it was a straight red. It should have been done like that. But the referee, because of whatever reasons, he failed to do that. For me, I can't even say he's a coward. He's not a coward because he was brave enough to give Chiefs a penalty in the first 10 minutes. Maybe I can say he was a coward when it's come to making decisions against Chiefs.
Morgan, we are out of time, but also
Morgan, you need to say something.
No, look, I think let's give credit where credit is due. You must remember, he's got 1 second to make a decision.
Yeah.
A split second.
Yeah. To make a decision at that point in time.
So actually, it's got 2 seconds. There's also assistant. Good to know it's a red. They can even whisper him.
No. He has a second.
You went. Even in rugby, that's a straight red. Without the ball, if you tackle someone in rugby without the ball, it's a straight red.
No, but
where it's a contact sport.
No, it wasn't a Doxo moment. It wasn't a direct scoring opportunity. Yeah. So you need to look at, if you want to bring the laws in, you need to look at the Doxo moment.
It was high. It was above the shoulders. And
if it was high,
Miguel was not challenging the ball.
And it was the last defender, then it would have been a red card.
No, it was violent conduct. That one, even if you're not challenging, even if there's no goal scoring, when you go like that high incidence, is violent conduct, is a red card.
I love
it's
how
low
the
12 in the IFAB laws of the game.
I love how you are not a qualified official.
Thank you.
So we'll leave it with just your opinion and allow Morgan as well to have his opinion.
You know what? I really need to be qualified because the people who are reviewing it on TVs, we see like people, they're also interpreting.
Bye-bye, Daydream. With that said, on the other episode, there's still so much to talk about because the PSL players of the season are going to be coming up, and interesting battle, especially in the midfielder of the season. There's also defender of the season. Yeah, we already know with regards to the Golden Boot and where that one is going to go. It has been episode 4 of the Switch On Network. Thank you so much for tuning in. Congratulations on the victory, Kosi Nation.
And I said it. He said it's going to be a cold day. What did you say?
I said off air. So I don't know if it counts. I said it's going to be a cold day in hell. But the Rivero decided to change that.
And make it a hot day in hell.
No. The Pirates coach really played a huge role in making sure Chiefs don't face difficulties in going to extra time.
Marcos,
you predicted penalties.
You won it, yes, but we won.
But at least there was one penalty.
I did say win.
No, Rivero didn't allow it. Rivero didn't allow it to go to penalties.
But that's it.
Just for the record, I blame the Pirates coach for Pirates losing the penalty.
Well done, Marcos.
Yeah. 10 years later, Nedbank Cup champions. Yeah, the action was at the Moses Mabhida Stadium. Well, from myself, Lerato Paro, don't forget to like, share, and comment. This has been the Switch On Network. See you on the next one.